You've got Colin now in a Haas. He was in Alpine last season, of course. There's UJ, who will be the first to start a hot lap. So we'll go with UJ on board. King Kong says he wants to win. That's in the DRS chat. Do forgive me for getting confused who's Pro-Am and who's Pro. I will try and keep that in mind as well, as it has changed around a little bit. Pro-Am champ Sloth now in the top tier. King Kong last season his rival, this season his teammate in Mercedes. There will be some races this season with the full qualifying session. This is not one of them. The usual 18-minute qualifying session applies here. Good evening to Bazza in the chat. Here comes UJ to set the first lap time of the day, 1:29.2 for UJ. Here is Senna now in the Alpha Tauri, followed by his previous car. Maxwell, 1:28.7. And provisional pole early doors. Syme, 1:29.4. Colin, 1:29.8. Good evening to Sainsy in the chat. Just mentioning Senna moving from Aston Martin now to Alpha Tauri. Those of you watching a couple of weeks ago in the finale will remember that he was dedicating the final race to his friend Dave, who was fighting cancer. Unfortunately, Dave passed away since that race. So I'd just like to pass on my condolences to Dave and to Dave's family and to Senna personally, and I'm sure everyone else associated with DRS would like to do that as well. Easy Life now in a Red Bull, 1:31.0. On board now with Senna. Who Swanton likes to point out is the only one who puts DRS after his name instead of before it. Hello to Chris Williams in the kick chat. I am very good, thank you. Brand new season of DRS, followed by, I think it's the midway point of Bloggy Mondays. And Senna goes over a 1:30.0, and that's P6 at the moment. Mr. Pickle, 1:31.0 for the Aston Martin now. I think he'll be glad to see the back of the Ferrari after an unfortunate season for him, even though it did end with a win late on. 50 Gent goes across with a 1:30.4. Swanton a 1:29.8. Brad Mason 1:29.5. They're all flying in now, and they're all quite close together. King Kong 1:29.9. Full grid today, all 20. Isn't it amazing? When you start a season, that's what happens. There's Smug in the Pro-Ams this season. 1:30.3 for him. P9. Be very interested to see how many of the Pro-Ams can out-qualify their pro teammates. At the moment, King Kong is doing so over Sloth, who did a 1:31.1. Still a few of them yet to put a lap time in. Here's Spoonie. And we'll follow Spoonie through the final sector of his first hot lap. Al Newt and Skippy also now out on theirs. Spooney comes up towards the line. It's a good lap for him. A 1:29.7 for Spooney. And that's P5 at the moment. Skippy did a 1:31.8. Here's Al Newt. Going through the twisty sector 2. Plenty of corners to catch a driver out in that particular sector. On a track that we don't see very often on the F1 23 game in various leagues and other events like social play, etc. Just doesn't seem to come up very often. But here we are. Good evening to Adkins, and thank you very much for the tier 1 sub as well. Chris says the Twitch ads are far too long. Well, folks, get me to 75 on Kick, and then the Twitch ads will be no more. That's a promise. As soon as I can get subscribers on Kick, there will be no more Twitch ads. We are live on both Twitch and Kick, and of course the DRS Twitch as well. Our new 1:31.2 there. Sloth has improved. He's up to 1:29.8 and P6. Sainsy now out on track. I'll just take this quiet moment to just double check something on the lineups, because someone sent a message. Right, that's just that, that's fine. Just check something on the DRS lineups and make sure I've got it the right way round. Yes, indeed. See Spooney up to 5th, and I thought, is he the pro? No, indeed, he is the Pro-Am, and at the moment, he is the top Pro-Am in P5. At the moment, nobody getting near Max at the top. Sainsy, 1:30.1 and P12 for the Alpine. Speedy Bullets on his way round now. Joker remains in the pits. Max 1:28.7. UJ I think's abandoned that attempt. Sim is a bit down. Brad is up on his time, so let's keep an eye on Brad. Good to see some of the Blobby Mondays racers tuning in ahead of our race later on in Qatar. Appreciate you all. Some team changes have happened there. I'll tell you about those later on. Here comes Brad. And it's a 1:28.8 for Brad and P2. Brad makes it up to P2 in the McLaren. Of course, was involved in the epic title battle with Sim and Swanton last season. Of course, with Max and UJ in as well this season, it's going to be even better. Let's see Speedy Bullet as he comes around into Sector 2. 5 minutes remaining in the session. Not sure why the cam light is a bit dodgy today, but maybe need to adjust that. Buttons is in focus. It's the light of the screens, I think. Easy Life goes ahead of Ninjas, 130.4. Where is Speedy Bullet going to be? He is going to be just above Easy Life on the same, 130.4. Look at them. From Al Newt down to Easy Life, 15, 16, 17, 18, all in that 130.4. Joker, Purple Sector 1. Now in the Ferrari. It will take me a little while to get used to the new teams, as I've been used to seeing Joker in a Mercedes. As Swanton goes to start another lap as well. We'll go and see him at the end of the Joker lap, and then we'll try to get people as they hit the line to conclude the session. Here goes Joker then. Towards the line, a 129.6 and P5 for Joker. Good lap for him. As promised, we'll go and see Swanton. He's 3 seconds down, so he's double outlapping. So here is Max, the current pole sitter. Can he make any improvement? He's a 10th up through Sector 1. We'll go on board. Maybe lost a gear there, sounded like. Has it cost him any time? It has not. He's about 3/10 up. And this could be the one to confirm the pole position. Something oh so familiar about somebody called Max in a Red Bull on pole, and there it is, 128.5. Now, let's see. A minute left. Let's try and get them as they hit the line. So a Mercedes is coming around next. It's not that Mercedes, it's the other one, and it's King Kong up to P6. 129.4. And that puts him ahead of his teammate Spoonie. 129.0. P3. Spoonie on that form could be heading for a Senna-esque swap in the early going of the season. He's always had the pace. It's been the consistency that has let him down. Brad starts his final hot lap. Swanton, 129.0 and P3. It's almost flag time, I think. Spoonie's on his way back in. It now is flag time. Mr. Pickle, he's invalidated. Easy Life has hit the line, so Max is well down. Who else are we waiting for here? Here's UJ. He's got across the line. Ferrari next is Joker going to the pits. 50 Gent improves to 15th. There's a Mercedes coming. And it's King Kong on his way into the pit. Senna's a couple of seconds down. Colin goes up to P7. P7 for Colin. Speedy Bullets hit the line. Sloth has been out qualified by his teammate King Kong. And Joker out qualified by his teammate Smug. Smug takes P10. I think Brad might have binned it. Brad might have binned it there on the last corner. And Senna was well down. So I think that's it. Unless Swanson, no, he's not going to improve. So that is it. Max takes pole in a familiar saying of the last few years. Good evening, Husey in the chat. So Max takes pole from Brad with Swanson in P3, UJ P4. The cat amongst the pigeons is Spoonie. P5 for Haas. The top Pro-Am, then it's Syme. Then Spoonie's teammate Colin. Then King Kong. Senna and Smug. So 3 Pro-Ams in the top 10 and 3 Pro-Ams out qualifying their teammates. We will, of course, have a little break while the drivers get their strategies sorted out. I will run through the entire grid board again. Max World and Brad Mason on the front row from Swanson and UJ. Spoonie and Syme. Colin and King Kong. Senna and Smug. Joker and Al Newt. Sloth is with Mr. Pickle. Bit disappointing for those two. Sainsy in P15 from Skippy. 50 Gent from Speedy Bullet, who seems to have left the session. Hopefully someone can get him back in. Easy Life and Ninjas round off the grid on the back row. Full grid tonight. Bit of a break, and then it's quite a long one. Can't remember exactly how many laps. In the region of 30, I think. If you joined us late, it is a brand new season. In the darkness of the desert, we start in Bahrain. Season 8 of DRS Mondays. And normally I would give you some standings, but of course, with it being the race opening, the season opening race, there aren't any. So, there we go. Don't forget, folks, Blobby Mondays, 10 PM.
Glitchade.
Glitchade? Who glitched? What glitched? Help me. Are we alright again? Oh dear. Well, at least it's on a pause. I'll see what.
The game looks glitched to shite.
Game looks glitched. How very odd. I've got to mute that so I don't hear myself. mine. Maybe it's just the darkness. Does that sometimes on lesser resolutions. Hopefully it behaves itself once the race gets underway. Oh, we've lost another one. Let's just make sure we've not had any problems here. Doing something at the same time, apologies. And here we go for the formation lap then, where I will give you some tyre choices. And it's all change at the top, where Max decides on the soft tyre. Brad and Swanton go for hards. UJ, Spoonie and Syme, mediums. Colin on the softs from King Kong on the mediums. Senna is on the softs. Mr. Pickle and Sainsey have had it coming together and been disqualified from the formation lap. Smug on mediums ahead of his teammate Joker on softs. Then everyone else bar Skippy is on mediums, with Skippy on the hards in 16th place. Hopefully, George, the game is now showing a bit better for you. Might have just been a missed loading or something. So 29 laps of this race. And there is the Amazon Strategyometer, where it predicts a 2-stopper for the soft runners, a 1-stopper medium to hard or hard to medium. Of course, anything can happen in terms of safety cars, etc. Don't think we're due any rain in the desert. Have seen once Qatar come up the rain, but not in Bahrain or Jeddah just yet. In fact, saw Abu Dhabi wet on the game once. Obviously you can set it yourself as well. Drivers coming into park. Max on pole. Brad disqualified for his parking. Mr. Pickle and Sainsey obviously earlier on in the lap were reset to the grid. Everybody else now making their way to the grid. Nice front-on view for you for the start. Sometimes the game gives you terrible angles for this. On come the lights. Out they go. And Max gets away well. Bit of ghosting in front. But he got away quite well. Swanton looking around the outside. And everybody gets through, do they? Simon and Colin are scrapping. Sainsy losing a couple of positions. UJ up the inside of Swanton. Early move for him. Colin passes Syme. But Syme's giving him a bit of an elbow back. In fact, that's Senna getting involved as well there. King Kong and Smug, Mr. Pickle and Joker are all involved in the midfield. And everybody has got through without too much problem. And oh, wide, big wide goes Joker. That's not the line to be taking through there. As Colin overtakes his teammate Spoonie and up into P5. Maxwell has made the perfect getaway and is already 2 seconds up the road from Brad and UJ. Everybody managing so far to get round without any damage or spin. Sloth side by side with Skippy, and Sloth makes a position. Colin is on fire. He's up to P4. What a start from Colin. He's now past Swanton and up into P4. Good start from the Hash driver. Syme now getting the better of Spoonie. Spoonie's race, of course, will be to try and win the Pro-Am. He's currently P7 with his rivals Smug and King Kong in 9 and 10 behind Senna. UJ trying to close on Brad. Sloth scrapping with Al Newt, and Al Newt goes off. Al Newt is off and to the back of the field, and now he's left the session again. So I'm not sure if that was a rage quit or if that was another problem. I'll see if I've got him on my list to invite him back in. Always try and do that. So if you are driving in either league race, make sure I'm on your list and I'll try and invite you back in. So Maxwell leads. King Kong now passing Smug as Max sets the fastest lap of the race. King Kong past Smug there for P2 in the Pro-Am. Smug might fancy a go up his inside though. Terrible camera angle for us. They precede Mr. Pickle and Joker. And UJ getting a move on Brad. But then forced wide, UJ. And now Colin might get involved. UJ just overdid it, trying to make the pass, and Brad took the place back. And now contact. UJ hits the back of Brad there. Has he damaged his wing? I would suggest that he hasn't. Swanton not managing to keep up and might be in some danger from Syme as Smug now battles Mr. Pickle. The Ferrari's almost going too wide with Mr. Pickle. Speedy Bullet is out of the race. Out of the race is Speedy Bullet. Not quite sure what happened there. We're carrying on without a safety car at this stage. We've just waved yellows. And Colin is now right on the case of the two in front of him as they weave to try and break the slipstream. UJ up the inside and passes Brad Mason. Colin almost looked for a dive as well. I did send one. I will send another one, Al. There you go, sir. Up the inside is Brad on Colin. Close fighting. Still there, Colin. Round the outside. Excellent racing by Colin into P3. But Brad's not going to give it up. Brad's not going to give it up at all. Look at them side by side. And Colin gets it done. But Brad will have another go at him. Superb racing by those two. And Brad's going to have another look. Syme is in P5 ahead of Swanton now. Spoonie P7 leading the Pro-Am ahead of Senna in P8. King Kong second in the Pro-Am, P9. And Mr. Pickle runs off the top 10. Smug has dropped back behind Joker, now his teammate. But he's still P3. As Colin and Brad are at it again. Brad goes up the inside. Syme trying to get involved as well. DRS train now. And look at Swanton try and make a dive. Swanton perhaps a little rash there, trying to get up the inside of Syme. Managed to pull out of it okay. They're followed by Spoonie, Senna, King Kong. Then Mr. Pickle and the Ferraris. So we've only lost Speedy Bullet so far. We temporarily lost Al Newt, but I think he's got back in. I hope he has. Indeed, he's not ghosting anymore, so Al is back in. Max has a nice, comfortable lead at the moment from UJ. And Brad, who is trying to shake the attentions of Colin. Simon Swanton very close behind. Senna getting closer and closer to the back of Spoonie. But also has to watch Mr. Pickle, King Kong behind him. They're all ahead of Mr. Pickle, who's next. As Ninjas passes Easy Life down towards the rear of the field. 50 Gents trying to get to Sloth, who is struggling on his first race back as a pro. Smug overtakes his teammate Joker there. Could that be a sign that the soft tyres are starting to go away even after 5 laps? 50 Gent past Sloth there. And Ninjas might fancy a bit himself. And they almost went into the back of him. And this is a decent scrap further down the field. And Ninjas showing some pace and might try and get both of them here as Sloth tries to go up the inside of 50. Genty holds it. Ninjas right there as well with them. Genty defends for now, but I'm not sure for how long. And Syme now battling with Colin. Side by side. And Colin will defend that. Spoonie and Senna the same. And Spoonie manages to defend as well. Ninjas and 50 going at it. Mr. Pickle has managed to get past King Kong. I missed that one. And he is now on the tail of Senna. Skippy passes Sainsy. And off goes Sloth. Sloth went off there. And has dropped down to 18th. And it's not a good return to pro for him at the moment. Joker picks up the first penalty of the session. I think Ninjas was involved with that incident with Sloth, as he's now got Easy Life right back on his tail. And Easy Life up the inside. And contact! Contact between Easy Life and Ninjas. Ninjas loses a couple of places. Easy Life also loses a place to Sloth. Was there any damage? Show us the front of the car, please. Easy Life. Seems to be okay. Ninjas. As Joker is the first one into the pit lane. So the soft tyres come off and the hards go on for Joker. Meanwhile, Brad, Colin and Syme scrapping away still. Mr. Pickle has now passed Senna, and I must apologise to Mr. Pickle, as that's the last two places he's gained and I've missed them. Spoonie holding his own, currently in P7 and keeping up well with Swanton. And now in the wall is Skippy. Skippy's in the wall and he was doing so well. And we've got a virtual safety car. As Skippy tries to back it out and get it moving again. Skippy was having a solid race. And he's now put it in the wall and will have to pit for a new front wing. Which of course, when he's already on the hard tyres, is the last thing his strategy needed. Colin has closed right up to UJ, who was maybe sleeping on the Delta a little bit. Max is into the pits. Max is into the pits. It is only a virtual safety car. Max has decided it's time for a pit stop. Brad and Syme are doing the same. UJ takes the lead. Colin is now second. Still is only a virtual safety car, so we can be going at any time. Swanton up to third, Spoonie back up to fourth. Mr. Pickle now fifth from Senna. King Kong Sainsy up to eighth. Maxwell rejoins. And has got a drive-through! Maxwell has got a drive-through penalty! The Delta just caught him as he came out of the pits. And it's a drive-through penalty for Maxwell. He's now in P9. 50 Gent in P10 from Brad and Syme, who also pitted. It's not worked out great for Smug or Joker. They've dropped down, but have both pitted, so not too bad. Sloth, Ninjas and Al Newt also pitted, and Skippy is just returning now after replacing that front wing. Colin picked up a penalty. And that's a drive-through as well. A drive-through for Colin. And that's real bad luck for him. He's had a great race so far. And suddenly the cat is well and truly amongst the pigeons in terms of this race win. Colin comes in to serve his drive-through. He will drop right the way down the field, as will Max when he serves his, which is not going to be this lap, and he's going to go past Sainsy and into P8. make that P7 after he overtakes Swanson. There's Senna and King Kong side by side. Senna and King Kong side by side for P5, and Senna manages to stay ahead on that one. Colin is going to rejoin, and he's gone really wide. Colin, he's made a mistake after rejoining. Syme up the inside of 50 Gent, trying to chase Brad. Colin made a mistake after coming out from the drive-through, and is now down in P12. Behind this battle between Brad, Syme and 50 Gent. It's all going on, folks. This is DRS Mondays. New season. Same action. Superb race so far. UJ leads it. Swanton is now second. Spoonie's having a great time. He's in third. Mr. Pickles up to fourth. After a disappointing qualifying, that's good for him. And Senna and King Kong, who you saw scrapping on the last lap, and are probably going to be scrapping again. Not sure who that is that's joined. Max sets the fastest lap of the race, and he's staying out as long as he can before he does this drive-through he's got to do. King Kong this time gets Senna, and Syme gets ahead of Brad. Two of last season's title rivals scrapping it out. Colin now down in P12 and on 10 lap old soft tyres. It's got to be pit stop time for those last two remaining soft runners, Senna and Colin, sooner rather than later. As Skippy gets a pass on Al Newt as he tries to make his way back through the field. Senna's not going to leave King Kong alone, and up the inside he goes. Brad's picked up a time penalty now. King Kong's going to fight this one back on Senna. And they're side by side again. Senna to the inside. King Kong run the long way. Goes a bit wide. Gets on the curb. He's going to lose a place. And Max might just get both of them. Max is going to try and thread the needle. And Max passes both of them. Superb from Max, but it's not going to matter because he's got to serve his drive-through. Senna follows Max into the pits. King Kong will be glad to see the back of those two. Sainzy's up to 6th now. Let's see where Max rejoins here. He's going to be ahead of Joker in P11. Senna is going to be behind the Ferraris in P14, and Easy Life also in the pits. The UJ with a 4-second lead over Swanton. Of course, Swanton can go longer on the hard tyre. Syme passing Sainsy. Don't think there was too much resistance on that one from Sainsy, who Syme will now hope can be a bit of a rear gunner and hold Brad up a little bit. Teamwork at Alpine. Let's just see how that progresses. Colin, the last soft runner out there, has been into the pits, but only to serve his drive-through. Brad closes on Sainsy. Sainsy won't be able to defend this for much longer, I don't think. He's going to do his best though. But Max pulls to the pulls to the inside. And up to P7 goes Brad without losing too much time behind Syme. Colin's surely got to be struggling on the tyres a bit now. 50 Gent keeping with him. He's in the top 10 at the moment. It's Spoony, King Kong, Sainsy, your top 3 of the Pro-Ams. Spoony at the moment in 3rd overall. A very good race for him so far, but we are not yet at halfway. So a lot can happen. Maxwell closing back in on 50 Gent and Colin. And with the pace of Max, you wouldn't expect it'll be too long before he's back up into that top 10 and getting after the cars in front. Just needs to make sure he avoids any accidents when coming through the field as our Nuke passes Skippy further back, and King Kong is into the pits. Into the pits comes King Kong. DRS for Max World. Colin into the pits finally as well. 50's not going to give this one up easily, but Max dives into the corner first. And up to P8. Now, where are King Kong and Colin going to rejoin? King Kong in 13th, ahead of his teammate Sloth. Colin is going to be right down in 16th, but ahead of Skippy and Al Newt. Skippy just passing Al there, as you see. So Max has cleared 50 now, and he's going to chase after Sainsy, who of course still needs to pit. Looks like perhaps Max and Brad are on 2 stoppers, along with Skippy. Skippy of course had to replace his front wing. Still 19 of the 20 drivers on track as we reach halfway almost. In fact, we do reach halfway with UJ into the pit lane. Swanton takes the lead. Spoony is up to 2nd. Into the pits comes Mr. Pickle. So Sim and Brad will go through. Into the pits is Sainsy. So Max will hope to clear all of these, but he's not going to clear UJ. UJ comes out ahead of Max World. Joker and Smug now into the top 10. Senna. Then Mr. Pickle rejoins in P10 ahead of King Kong. And Sloth. Ninjas goes through. Then Sainsy comes out. Then Colin and Skippy and Al Newt all ahead of 50 Gent, who comes out last but one, just ahead of Easy Life. So Swanton now your leader, doing the long stint on the hards. Is he going to go hard soft, stay out for another 5 or 6 laps? We shall see. Or is he going to go straight for the hard to medium when he does pit? Spoony, we would assume, is going to pit rather more urgently, and does. So into the pits comes Spoony, and surely he will go to the hard tyre to the end. Don't think it's worth risking the medium, the soft, sorry. And indeed he does. Where will he re-emerge? Skippy picks up a time penalty, as does Easy Life. And Spoony is going to rejoin behind Smug and Senna. So that's big. That is very big. If Smug can go to the end, which is debatable, it's possible, then Smug is the current leader of the Pro-Am. Ahead now, Spoonie and King Kong. Senna right on Smug's case. Some battling going on near the back of the field. Al Newt, 50 Gent, Skippy, all involved there. Senna's got a better exit there than Smug, and he's going to take P7 here. Up the inside he goes. And Senna will make that stick and put his AlphaTauri up into P7. Into the pits now is Swanton. Now, is he going to risk the softs? No, he is not. It's a set of mediums for Swanton. Syme takes the lead. Brad up to second, then UJ. Max goes through. Where is Swanton compared to Joker? Joker's passed him. Swanton is going to come out ahead of Senna and Smug as Smug overtakes Senna. So Swanton into P6. Smug back ahead of Senna in P7, but more importantly, leads the Pro-Ams. Not by much though, as he's re-overtaken by Senna. Spoonie can see Smug, as you see from the onboard. So the race for the Pro-Am is right there. And Spoonie seems to have the pace at the moment. What can Max World do? Can he get back onto the podium from his current P4? Does he need to pit again? Max and Brad on the mediums with 12 laps to go. It's going to be hard work for them to get those home. And indeed, Brad pits. Brad pits. Terrible. Into the pits comes Brad. I've just inadvertently cracked a pun without knowing it. And it's another set of mediums for Brad. And a front wing. So Brad had obviously come to some kind of problem because he had a front wing change there. And he has dropped now to P11. Make that 12, 13, 14. As Swanton gets past Joker into P4. So it's all change up top with Max back in the top three. But does he need to pit again? That's the question. It's a familiar sight. Syme in front. UJ is second, Max third. Then Swanton. Joker having a solid race. Started in midfield, now P5. In fact, we'll put up the position changes. If we can find them. And Joker is having the best race of all. He's up 6 with Syme, Ninjas and Mr. Pickle all up 5. Brad, the biggest loser at the moment with that extra pit stop. And Spoonie passes Smug for the lead of the Pro-Am. And Max does indeed pit. Swanton sets the fastest lap of the race as he takes P3. Max is going for softs to the end. It's a bold move, but he's got a lot of traffic now to overtake, especially if he comes out behind these three who are speeding down the straight as we speak, almost 3 wide between them, and they're all going to be ahead of Max. That's Colin, Sainsey and Sloth. Max comes out ahead of Brad. Another 2 of them will look to try and fly through the field. Spoonie, another pass for him. No, in fact, Smug In fact, Smug has retaken the lead of the Pro-Am. Spoonie in P7 and Mr. Pickle in P8. King Kong's right there as well now. This battle for the Pro-Am win could be about to go 3 ways, with Mr. Pickle stuck in the middle. UJ has closed the gap a bit to Syme as well, whose tyres will be screaming by the end. Max is beginning his run through the field by passing Sloth. And Brad is going to try and follow him every step of the way. And Brad does pass Sloth as well. Why is video paused? What the fuck? What? 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 Why is it? Sorry folks, my internet's decided to be a bastard. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, hello folks, sorry, I don't know what's going on. My internet's been a bastard. I've been kicked from the lobby. And now my cam won't, it doesn't want to do anything. Let's see if I can actually get back in. What a mess. Apologies, folks. Don't know why video's been paused. Mute. No, I don't want mute. Oh dear.
What happened below?
Congrats. See you on Monday.
First job, fantastic. Let's talk payslips.
Doors closing.
Remember, rent's due tomorrow, mate.
Well done, son. Have you thought about your long-term savings plan?
Find your way to new beginnings with Barclays Life Skills. And join the millions we've helped so far.
Maggie, let's do this.
Barclays. Make money work for you.
Can you hear me now? There we go, that's better. At least we've got the fucking microphone working. Apologies, folks, technical issues. Don't really know what happened there, but we're going to carry on now. Anyway, UJ leads from Symes. Swanson in third, then Joker. Big gap back to Joker, but he's doing well in fourth. Can he make the tyres last? It looks like he can. Senna is in P5. Then it's Spoonie from Max World. Then Brad Mason and King Kong, who's got Smug for company, but Spoonie seems to have shaken them off in terms of the Pro-Am race. Do apologise for this. Don't know what has happened with the cam not going on. Hopefully I can fix that before Blobby Monday later on. Smug now making a move on King Kong round the outside. Can he get it done? King Kong defends well. Max World now passing Spoonie as he continues to try and make his way through the field. Why is video paused? I don't understand. I didn't press pause. Very odd. If anyone knows about direct PlayStation streaming and why it's being a twat, please let me know in the chat. As Max takes Senna for P5. Colin trying to get back into the top 10. He was right up there.